This is Zalipie. Witamy w Zalipie. That means welcome to the town. You can see the flower patterns and welcome to the painted village. This is exciting. Look at this. I can come right across the street and show you this kind of flower patterns that you see on this building. It's a particular kind of flower pattern. I have no idea what it means or why they chose this pattern or what these flowers mean. I have no idea whatsoever. But at any rate, we will go on. It says Dom Malerik, painted houses, and Zabudova Zalipie, which means the built-up part of the town. This apparently is the #1 painted house of Zalipie. I love things like this. It's just a little oddity, isn't it? Why would it be a big deal except that it's just here? It's not particularly a big deal, but it is out of the ordinary. There was an artist who lived here, a lady, I've forgotten her name, but she lived there. Apparently she lives there no more. It looks like this is a pretty old house. Here comes another one of those country driving cars. It's like a super highway down here. And it says private terrain, but that's probably just to keep the dirty hippies from camping here and messing up the place. You can see she even painted outside here. And this is one of your basic, beautiful, look at that sunlight on there right now. It's fantastic, isn't it? This is one of your basic country cottages of the kind that you will see in this here part of the world, and different parts of Poland, tending more towards the east and the south. This is Małopolska. Krakow is about 75 kilometers away. Our destination is Tarnów, which is considerably closer. I think it's about 10-12 kilometers from here. I'm guessing, I don't know for sure, because I'm not just paying that much attention. But I know we're near. I know it won't take long to go to Tarnów. I also know the reason we stopped here, let me get out of the way so you can see the picture. Isn't that sunlight nice? The reason we stopped here was because it was here. We were driving by and I just had to stop and see this church. This is a kind of wooden church that you'll find a lot of in Poland, some older than others, but this is St. Zygmunt's, and it was built in 1642. It was moved here from another town called Pleszna in 1938. It says that there in Polish, in English, and in German, which is good stuff for the traveler who gets curious. So this is a fairly typical wooden church. We're on our way to Tarnów. You may ask, why is he carrying that yogurt container? And that's because I have managed to select some beautiful raspberries from the local Tarnów market here. Yes, we're in Tarnów, of course, continuing our fantastic journey. This gentleman beside me is very excited. We're seeing a foreigner eat raspberries. A foreigner, it means anyone who's not from this part of the world, which means Tarnów and the Tarnów area. But they're very nice about it. We walked through the market. Everybody was very jovial and sweet. The thing about Poland is they have amazing berries. Anyway, we're going to be walking around Tarnów and doing some more, just showing you how the beauty of the city, and there's some nice places to go. There's some castle ruins. I hope we'll get there. There's a couple of nice wooden churches. This is another beautiful little church. We can look inside, but I mean, we won't take the camera up because there's a service in action. But normally these places would be closed. We wouldn't be able to see anything inside. So we were lucky to get a glimpse of the Virgin Mary miracle painting in the previous church. At any rate, there you are. So it's a nice walk. If you want to get out of the town center and walk a couple of kilometers, then I recommend it. Okay? We couldn't go through the center without stopping off and looking at the grave of Tadeusz Tertil, a doctor who started off working for free, ministering to the poor and as a doctor, and or a medical professional, if you will, and became eventually the mayor of Krakow. He was responsible for really dragging, as a councilman, before he was a mayor, he was responsible for really dragging Tarnów kicking and screaming into the 20th century, building water plants and generally providing social services for the city. He was mayor and one of the main instigators of creating Tarnów as the first independent Polish city on the 31st of October in 1918, even before the armistice was declared. So there must have been a feeling abroad that the armistice was coming, and a deal was made with the Austrians. And Tarnów, the first Polish city, independent Polish city, after or just before the end of World War I, putting Poland, the independence of Poland, on the map again for the first time since the partition in the 1790s. You got to have a Kazimierz the Great Square, you got to have a Jan Sobieski Street, and you got to have my pal, Mr. Mickiewicz. It would have been fun to meet him, huh? One of the great writers of the 19th century. That's Mr. Mickiewicz there. And no nice square in Poland would be the same without a bust of one of Poland's great writers. And he may be, well, he's certainly considered the greatest poet, at least by most, or perhaps the most hated poet by most school children. Anyway, it's like Shakespeare in the English language. You have to learn Shakespeare and your teachers kill you with it. But anyway, no, Mickiewicz is wonderful stuff. So as you can see, the evening is drawing in. The sun is dipping down to the horizon. This street is called Jan Sobieski Street, and it's named for the great Polish king, the hero of the Battle of Vienna, which defeated the Ottoman Turks, led by the Polish forces in the great cavalry charge down the hill that saved the day and put the Ottomans in retreat back in the late 1600s. That's one of the great battles of Europe, and the fact that it was led by Jan Sobieski is always celebrated. So this is a main street, and it runs up to square up here and to the main town square, but the first square is for Kazimierz the Great. If I'm correct, I think I am, this is celebrating Tarnów as the first in independence, because the last couple of days of October they had already declared independence from the Austrians, who had been the previous occupiers of this part of Poland, and perhaps the most benevolent occupiers of Poland and parts of the Ukraine. So that's interesting stuff. Up here, we'll see there's a tram car, and in there people are drinking coffee, which sounds like a good idea, or maybe hot chocolate.